Welcome. In this final part of our Hospitality Finance series, we're going to connect all the dots. We're moving beyond just the numbers on a spreadsheet and stepping right into the boardroom. We're going to talk about how the best hotel leaders take all that financial data and turn it into a winning strategy.
And you know what? That quote just nails it. It is the absolute heart of what we're talking about today. Every single number, every percentage, every little trend, it tells a piece of your hotel's story. It tells you where it's been, where it is right now, and this is the important part, it gives you the map to decide where you're going to lead it next.
Okay, so let's get right into it, because in today's hospitality world, understanding finance isn't some nice-to-have skill for a leader. Nope, it's a fundamental requirement. The game has totally changed.
See, it's not enough anymore to just be an amazing operational expert who delivers a 5-star guest experience. I mean, that's crucial, of course. But owners, stakeholders, they now expect leaders who can speak the language of business, who think strategically, and who can back up every single one of their decisions with solid data.
And here's the real payoff. When you truly get the finances, you're not just managing the day-to-day anymore. You are in control. You can spot a potential cash flow problem months before it happens. You can pinpoint exactly where to make a little tweak to boost the bottom line. And you can walk into that big meeting and argue for that new renovation project with total confidence.
So, how do you do all this? What do you actually need? Well, let's talk about the essential tools. And I really want you to think of these not as some intimidating reports, but as your practical, everyday gear for making smart decisions.
First up, KPIs. The best way to think about these, they're like the dashboard in your car, or maybe the vital signs monitor in a hospital. They give you a super quick, at-a-glance understanding of your hotel's health. You don't have to read a 20-page report every time you want to know what's going on.
And let's just zero in on 3 of the big ones. First, you've got RevPAR, revenue per available room. This tells you how well you're selling your inventory. It's a classic for a reason. Then, GOPPAR, gross operating profit per available room. This one goes deeper. It shows you how much actual profit you're making after expenses. And finally, ROI, return on investment. This is how you know if that big purchase or that new project was actually worth it. See, each one gives you a different, powerful lens to see your business.
But of course, your toolkit is more than just a few KPIs. To really get the full picture, you're also digging into your financial statements. You're using variance analysis to see how you're doing against your budget, and you're getting a rock-solid handle on your cost structure. When you put all of these tools together, well, that's when you get that true 360-degree view of your entire operation.
So knowing the tools is one thing, but using them to build a story and then create a plan? That's where leadership really begins to shine. Let's walk through a scenario you've probably seen before.
Okay, imagine this. You get the monthly report, you're scanning through, and you see this one key metric, your GOPPAR, is trending down. Now, a manager might just make a note of it, but a leader leans in and asks, what is this number really telling me? What's the story here?
So you start to dig a little deeper. You decide to focus on one specific area, say your main restaurant. And right here, this is where the story starts to take shape. You see revenue is flat, not great. But the real alarm bell, costs are rising. And that combination is squeezing your profit and making your cash flow really tight. That's the what.
So what's next? Well, a leader follows a really clear process. It's not magic. First, they connect this data to what's actually happening on the floor. Are food supplier prices going up? Do we have a waste problem? Are staffing levels off? Second, they identify the root cause. Maybe it's as simple as poor menu engineering. And finally, they recommend a strategic action. Let's renegotiate with suppliers. Let's revamp the menu. See, you go from just a number to a concrete plan.
And this brings us to a really critical point. Having the tools is important, for sure, but what truly separates a good manager from a great leader is their mindset. It's all about how you approach the numbers.
This right here, this is the whole game. A reporter simply states a fact, costs are up. But a leader sees that exact same fact and asks a strategic question. Why? What is this number telling me about my business? And what are we going to do about it? It's that shift from passive observation to active, curious inquiry.
So what does this leader look like? Well, they make decisions using data, but always with context. They break down those departmental silos. They're talking to the head chef, the F&B manager, and the finance team to solve problems together.
They know how to translate complex financial jargon into simple, actionable goals for their teams. And they never, ever forget that the whole point of all this financial management is to support and enable excellent service for our guests.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final, really powerful idea. This is all about you taking ownership of the story your hotel is telling. This is the ultimate takeaway. Just let that sink in for a second. Think of finance as the language of business. And in our industry, the leaders who speak it fluently, they're the ones who can inspire their teams, who earn the trust of their owners, and who can navigate pretty much any challenge the market throws at them.
And let's be crystal clear about this. Nobody is asking you to become a CPA, okay? That's not the goal. The goal is to blend your incredible operational skills with financial awareness. It's about being a leader who can motivate their team with empathy, but also guide the entire business with hard evidence.
So I'll leave you with this one question. The next time you look at your reports, your KPIs, your budgets, remember, they are not just numbers. They are your narrative. And you have the power to not only read that story, but to write the next chapter. So go on, own it.